Okay, so let's talk about the different task cards and the answers to them. I'm on task card number 2, and I'm going to just put the number 2 up here. I'm not going to use my task card sheet because I already used it earlier. So you will find it easiest to do metric conversions if you go from large to small. Because horse to fly means multiply, and that's going to be easier than divide. Okay? So if I'm comparing 4 numbers, what is my smallest unit here? What is my smallest unit? Kilometer, meter, millimeter, centimeter. Which is the smallest? Avery. Millimeter. So let's go ahead and write down that we have 100 millimeters. And then I need to convert 3 centimeters to how many millimeters? Okay? So how many millimeters are in 1 centimeter? Macy. No, how many millimeters are in a centimeter? Think a centimeter is this big. Centimeter is that big. How many millimeters are in there, Macy? 10. Okay, so horse to fly, big to small. We're going to do 3 times 10 for 30 millimeters. So we're going from smallest to largest according to the task card. So 30 millimeters so far is our smallest. Okay, and then we have 100 millimeters. Now what about the next one, 3,000 meters? How many millimeters? Okay, now it's horse to fly. A meter is much bigger than a millimeter. How many millimeters are in a meter? How many millimeters are in a meter? What does milli mean?
1,000.
1,000. How many millimeters are in a meter? Sam?
1,000.
1,000. So I have to multiply 3,000 times 1,000. 3 times 1 is 3, and then I need to add 3 6 zeros. Now, if you'll remember, I've said multiple times that the word million has the prefix mil, meaning 1,000, because a million is 1,000 thousands. 3 million is 3,000 thousands. Okay, so that's why the word milli means thousand, but it's the root for the word million because it's 1,000 thousands. Are you paying attention? So that's 3 million millimeters. Okay, so far this is our smallest, our 30 centimeters. Our 100 millimeters is second, and then we have 3 million millimeters. Okay, now I have 2 kilometers, and I want to know how many millimeters that equals. Well, first let's figure out how many meters that is. How many meters are in 1 kilometer? What does kilo mean? 1,000. So how many meters are in a kilometer? Lucy? 1,000. So how many meters are in 2 kilometers? 2,000. Now I'm going to convert that to millimeters. Well, look, 2,000 meters, here was 3,000 meters equaled 300 millimeters. 2,000 meters is going to equal how many millimeters, Nolan? Well, you can do 2,000 times 1,000. No. How many zeros do I need to add? It's okay. It's okay. Look at the screen, Nolan. 3,000 times 1,000 was 3 million. So 2,000 times 1,000 will be what? 2 million. Okay? Metrics are hard, guys. They're foreign to us. It's like learning another language. And the truth is, it's easier than what we're used to, but it's just not what we're used to. So, which is in order from least to great, or smallest to largest, we have 3 centimeters, then we have 100 millimeters. Then what's next? The 2 kilometers or the 3,000 meters? Every hand should be up. What's next? The 2 kilometers or the 3,000 meters. Dalton?
3,000 meters.
3,000 meters. No, 3,000 meters is 3 million millimeters. 2 kilometers is only 2 million millimeters. So which is next? Go ahead, Dalton. 2 kilometers, and then it's 3,000 meters. Okay, and really we should separate these with semicolons, not with commas. Okay, so it's 3 centimeters, 100 millimeters, 2 kilometers, and 3,000 meters. That's in order from least to great. Okay, let's look at, that was one of the harder ones, I think. Let's look at number 3. Make the following conversions. 3 5/10 centimeters equals how many millimeters? How many millimeters are in a centimeter? How many millimeters are in a centimeter? Everyone should have their hand up because we just talked about it. A centimeter is that big. How many millimeters? Alec.
35.
How many millimeters? Here's a centimeter, Alec. How many millimeters are in there? Think of 10. Think about your meter stick. 10. So we're going from centimeters to millimeters. That's a larger unit. So we have to multiply 3 5/10 times 10. What is 3 5/10 times 10, Harper? 35. Okay, when we multiply by 10, we are moving our decimal point over to the right. Okay, 3.5 times 10 is 35. What is 2.5 times 10? What's 2.5 times 10? Nolan? 25. What is 1.7 times 10? 17. When you multiply by 10, you're moving that decimal point to the right. When you divide by 10, you move the decimal point to the left. Okay? Remember, as we move to the right on the place value chart, the value of the digit becomes 10 times greater. Okay? And in reality, we know, let's look at this, 35 times 10. We know that there's an imaginary decimal point there. We don't put it because we don't need it. But when you do 35 times 10 and you make that 350, you're really moving that decimal point over one and filling it with a 0. Does that make sense? Okay, so you have to be able to do that on the test. Okay, number 2, the second one is 2 kilometers equals how many meters? How many kilometers are in 1 meter? How many kilometers are in a meter? Claire, how many kilometers in a meter? 1,000. So 2 kilometers, we have to do 2 times 1,000, which is what, Trace? 2,000. Okay, and then I have 1 5/10 meters equals how many centimeters? How many centimeters are in 1 meter? How many centimeters are in 1 meter? Lucy? 100. Because cent means 100. Okay? Here's 1 meter. Here's 1 meter. Okay? How many centimeters are in this meter? 100. What if I take half of that meter? How many centimeters are in half of my meter? How many centimeters in half the meter, Kinley? 50. So 1.5 meters is equal to 150 centimeters. 1 5/10 times 100. Now, instead of moving my decimal point 1 time, I move it 2 times. So 1.5 times 10 would be 15. 15 times 10 would be 150. Okay? Okay, let's look at number 4. Compare each length using less than, greater than, or equal. I'm on number 4. 250 millimeters, and we're comparing it to 45 centimeters. Okay, remember, I said earlier that anytime we can go from a larger unit to a smaller unit, it will be easier because we're multiplying. So here, we're going to convert from meters to centimeters. How many centimeters are in a meter? How many centimeters are in a meter? Max, how many centimeters are in a meter? 100. So I need to multiply 250 times 100. What does that give me? What's 250 times 100, Nia? Nia. I said Nia with an N. 250 times 100, Nia. What's 250 times 1?
250.
And how many zeros do I add?
2.
It's 25,000. So I have 25,000 centimeters compared to 45 centimeters. Clearly the 250 meters is, oh wait, silly Mrs. Smith, and nobody caught me. Look, it's 250 millimeters. Okay. So who can tell me? Now we're going from centimeters to millimeters. How many millimeters are in a centimeter, guys? How many millimeters are in a centimeter? If this is a centimeter, how many millimeters? Sam? 10. So what we really need to do is 45 times 10, which is what? Yes, Avery? 450. So now we're comparing 250 millimeters to 450 millimeters. We're not quite as off. So 45 centimeters is more. I am crazy. Okay, the next one is 3 kilometers, and compare that to 3 meters. That's easy. They're the same number. Let's just look at the unit. What's bigger, a kilometer or a meter? What's bigger, kilometer or meter? Trace? Which kilometer? Kilometers. This is a meter. It takes 1,000 of these to make a kilometer. Okay? All right, number 5. And then we're going to move and save some more for tomorrow. How many centimeters is 40 millimeters minus 25 millimeters? Okay, how many millimeters is it? Do the subtraction. What's 40 minus 25? Oh, Nolan knows this one. What is it?
It's 15 millimeters.
15 millimeters, and then we have to turn that into centimeters. So we're going from fly to horse, small to big. So I have to divide. How many millimeters are in a centimeter? How many millimeters are in a centimeter? Everyone say it. 10. 10 millimeters in a centimeter. Hey guys, you know what? Let's be kind. Here's a centimeter. Inside that centimeter are 10 millimeters. So we're doing 15 divided by 10. Who can help me? What's 15 divided by 10? Amanda. 1 5/10. So look at, here's 1.5 centimeters from here to here. That's 10 plus 5, 15 millimeters. Okay? Okay, put that back in your red math folder and let's look at the